What's up, guys? This Wednesday, March 30th, Greg and I are hosting Uncovered Final Fantasy 15. It's a live event at 7 p.m. Pacific that's going to reveal the release date of the game, finally, along with a whole bunch of cool stuff. It's all going to be streamed, so make sure you come support us live for all the news, excitement, and shenanigans. What's up, guys? I'm Tim Gettys. Now, here's the thing. You know, you're about to see this whole discussion about some NX controllers, and I get really upset in this video. Turns out it's entirely fake, and now that's very exciting to me, but we didn't want to get rid of the episode because I thought it was a great episode. Andrea Renee's there. It's a whole good time. And we're discussing, you know, if this was real, would we like it or not? Spoilers. I don't like it one bit. Anyways, just wanted to let you know that we understand, but at the time of filming, we didn't know if it was real or fake. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 63, the first ever of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm your host, Tim Gettys, joined by the coolest dudes in video games, Colin Moriarty, and now three-time award-winning Greg Miller. What is it? 3 times in 4 months?
3 times in 4 months.
3 times in 4 months.
We
That's a really cool award.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
The game of the year has a Firewire port, and I think you might be able to use it as a real controller, which means mine sucks.
So you got to get on that next year, Greg. Figure it the fuck out.
Kevin, start making a game for me, will you? Thanks, Kev.
My good Lord. And of course, rounding us out, we have the coolest dudette. Can we call you dudette?
Sure.
You gonna roll
Like the
that?
Turtles.
Andrea Renee. Yeah.
Yay!
Yay.
Thanks for having me, guys.
This
I'm
is
so glad to be back.
Your thrice return?
I think it's my 3rd time,
Yeah. So you are now the reigning
Thrice
champion
return.
of the Kind of Funny Games cast. We're going to have a good show today. I'm
Kevin,
feeling
make her
really
a
good
trophy.
about this. Yeah, she
Make her a
deserves a
trophy
trophy.
as well.
Yeah.
So we still have that second championship belt. You go make the worst Gamescast title you
I
can.
did bring you candy.
A lot of candy. She's very nice. She brought us a whole Easter basket, including a Batman.
Yep.
Kevin, can you get the Easter basket?
Oh, you're giving her the... Oh, there it is. You're the
man.
reigning Gamescast
You made that so
champion.
fast. Can you get the Easter basket? I want to show the
This
people.
is awesome.
Now that eventually will be needed for Monopoly streams as well.
So I'll
It'll
just
be
hold
a
it here for a minute.
No, now you got it the whole show. Now
whole
you're
show?
locked in. Sorry.
Yeah.
So should I put it on?
I don't
You're
think they do
probably the
that.
only person in this house that it fits, yes. You can see the gaff tape all around it as we've tried to make it fit our lumpy bodies.
So what have you been up to, Andrew?
A lot, actually.
Good.
The last couple of months have been really crazy for me, which is really exciting. The biggest announcement I've made, or I should say the most recent announcement, is that's the Easter basket.
There it is. Batman's listing.
You guys haven't tried the Batman candy yet, though. Happy Easter.
Thank you.
Batman's leaning back.
The biggest announcement is
I am the new host of Yahoo Esports. Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
It's been a very exciting opportunity for me to work with the awesome team at Yahoo Sports, who is heading up the esports division over there. Just working with a production team who's worked with the NFL, the NBA, NHL, all of the major leagues, and really seeing how they run their production for these huge live action sports events and how they're bringing that process to esports has been like very educational for me to see just how much goes on behind the scenes, and also meeting more of the players and meeting some of our in-depth experts that we have on staff, Travis Gafford and Dylan Walker and Taylor Cock, and we're hiring more people to kind of round out our coverage. So it's been really, really exciting.
So you're telling me there's people out there that talk about video games not in their spare bedroom?
Correct.
Oh my God.
One day.
One
a
day.
thing.
The dream is real. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Every week we get together, we talk about video games and all the things that we love, and then you get to see it over youtube.com/kindoffunnygames Monday through Thursday. There's a topic video day by day broken out, and then Friday you get the full video, you get the full MP3 either at that same place or on iTunes, any of your favorite podcast places. But wait, Greg,
Yeah.
what if they want it early? What can they do?
If only there was a service called patreon.com/kindoffunnygames to do that.
Yeah, if there was, which there is, you can go there, throw some money our way, and you get the show early and a bunch of other stuff if you want that stuff. So that's great. And another exciting news, Greg,
Yeah.
me and you,
Yeah.
we're about to announce some release dates.
Final Fantasy 15 finally upon us.
Yeah, we are hosting the Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered event, which happens next week if you're listening to this as a Patreon user. This week, if you're watching it on YouTube,
Right.
it is Wednesday, March 30th, 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Right, from the Shrine Auditorium in
LA.
sunny Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. It's really exciting. We're announcing the release date, a whole bunch of other stuff. Perhaps. Who knows?
Maybe
We don't
there's
know
really
what we're doing.
maybe there are special guests. And when I say that, I don't just mean Andre the Black Nerd. I mean like people you've seen do things before in ways you would say they would never work with these yahoos.
Yeah,
Us
here they
being
are.
us, but here they
We're
are.
pretty Yahooligans is what they're
Yeah.
referring to us these
Yeah.
days. But yeah, it's very exciting. We get to host it. I am stoked. I want to know what the release date is.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this for like a bazillion years.
How excited are you?
I'm very excited.
February 2017.
Okay.
I would die.
Bullshit.
I would
2019.
riot. I would riot even more. 2019. Get the fuck out of here.
Why even bother at this point?
I
Releasing
hate
it
you
at all?
so much, Colin.
Wait, before we go on, I had one more thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm also hosting for Gamer Next Door.
So here's the thing. We're proud.
Yay!
You're gonna get your whole own topic. We're
we're
gonna
getting
talk
a
about
topic.
you.
So let's wait then.
So we're gonna wait on that.
Stop getting
Okay.
ahead of yourself
I'm
over
sorry.
here.
We're all
I'm,
over
I'm
the
just,
damn place.
I'm really hopped up on sugar now.
No, I
It's-
appreciate it. I
I ate
appreciate
too
it.
many jelly beans.
And now Kevin's over here.
Going to
My
town on these
God.
Reese's.
So yeah, Greg. So we're doing that.
Yeah.
They can find. There's gonna be a live stream. So you can either. There's gonna be thousands of people there. I think it said something like 6,000, 7,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of best friends. I can't wait to see you all there. Then, if you're not at the event, you can watch it on Twitch and YouTube and all the places. Don't know the URL, but I'm sure it's somewhere. So figure it out.
Kevin's putting it right there.
Final Fantasy.
Don't say that because last time Kevin didn't put any of the links in.
I didn't send him, but you didn't remind me. It's a whole process.
When you
Anyway,
say there's a link on the screen, Kevin puts it in. When you say link in the description, then
Whose job
nothing
is
happens.
that? That's
But
not
in-
job. That's not Kevin's job.
in that video,
Well,
I
no,
told
he doesn't
Kevin
write to
remind
publish
me. He didn't.
information. We have a believe it or not, this isn't as well-oiled a machine as we let on sometimes.
Yeah, no.
And mainly
it's crazy.
we'll say things like, yeah, somebody should do that. And everybody goes, well, it's not my job. And then no
Yeah.
one does it.
Exactly.
Doing metadata is like,
Ugh.
it's like the ultimate like intern work.
Yeah, it really is. But I like it so much, and I don't know why. I'm a sick fuck.
You're like, ooh, give me that SEO.
Yeah, I love SEO. It's my favorite. Anyways, okay, yeah. Final Fantasy XVUncovered.com is, I think, the
Right, that's
website.
the-
It has
yeah.
all the information there, so you'll know everything. And by next week, you
No,
will know
like,
the release date.
Preview? You can't give us anything else?
We
besides
can't give shit.
nothing?
No.
If
There's a lot
only
of-
I could give hints as to who the special guests might be.
Oh, Greg. That's awesome. That would be cool if that were to happen. Anyways, topic one of the show is the NX. Who's excited?
Oh, X gonna give it to
I'm
you.
excited.
Sorry.
X gonna give it to you. But this isn't exciting news.
Now,
This is-
you've already gone on the record as
Yeah.
saying you are the biggest NX
I'm
fanboy.
not the biggest. I'm number one.
Okay, you're the number one NX
Yeah,
fanboy,
until
which means
someone
you have to like this.
Fights me for that. Yeah, that doesn't mean that. You know, you watch Batman v Superman doesn't mean you have to like it.
It's true.
But with
It did.
this is what I've been waiting for. Not happening, and it did. Where we see this controller, and we've seen this in like patent kind
Right.
of just diagrams and shit over the last couple months, where it's like Nintendo's had some patent, and then you see some stupid ass looking thing, and I'm like, all right, why is this Hey Arnold shaped controller going on? I'm not down for this. But I'm like, there's no way. There's no way Nintendo would do that. That's just
There's
too
1,000%
that's
way.
just too wrong. Too wrong.
I mean, you're talking about the people who made the Wiimote and the nunchuck.
That's true,
And
but
those
like
were super
that,
successful.
that made sense from them trying something different perspective. This is them supposed to not do something different. They're supposed to be getting back into the normal shit, you know? That's what we all want. That's what we all expect it, at least. Like, we're talking about this console handheld hybrid thing, and it's
Which
like
is so normal.
I mean, it is. That's pretty like easy to wrap your head around. This is like, why? Like, what? I don't even understand what the thought process.
What did you
would
think
be.
the handheld / controller would look like?
I don't know. It could be something more similar to.
Do you think it
this.
would be like a 3DS with like grips or something?
I thought it would have buttons.
Oh, you know that
think
Nintendo
that'd be
doesn't
a
believe in
cool-
buttons. Look at the huge critical and commercial success the Wii U gamepad was.
It has buttons, Greg.
I know, but
What?
it has a screen that everybody loves. That's what you really use. All the games using that touch screen.
I hate you so much.
And it was only one
Anyway.
touch. I hope this is only one touch as well.
Oh,
You have two control sticks and one big button you just tap on.
Oh man, I mean, this is really kind of disheartening to me because this looks bad. This
Do
is
you
the
have
sign
any
of-
hope?
for this controller? If
Yeah.
this is the controller, I have no hope.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this looks really
Because I feel like when the Wiimote did come around, like we were like, what the fuck is this? Da, da, da. But it was interesting, and I remember getting excited for it because it was something different. You just had too much different, I guess.
yeah, but this isn't something different. This is something that we already know we're not gonna like. Like the Wiimote, we've never experienced gaming that
Sure.
way. This, I've experienced touch gaming on my phone constantly. I've experienced trying to play real games on a phone, and it doesn't work out. You know, like even when there's like real games, like you play the old school Sonic games or whatever, or like any of the first person shooters that they come out with, or like the Final Fantasy games. Like you can play Final Fantasy 7 on your phone. It doesn't feel right.
What do you mean real games? Maybe that's a whole topic for another time, but I think games that are developed specifically for mobile devices work really well on the mobile platform. And Nintendo has shown that they are a leader in innovation in many different categories. So maybe they've made something that you just haven't thought about yet.
That's true, but these are the people that made the Wii U and that did all that stuff. So and the Wii, which didn't do that. You know, like that again. We were talking about VR a couple of weeks ago. Like
Which didn't do what?
Nintendo never like kind of came through on the promise of what the Wiimote could do. Like,
What are you talking about?
Like what did it do?
Like 100 million units worldwide
Yeah,
didn't
but
come
it's
through on the
sales.
promise?
But we're talking about the games, though. We're talking about like
There were
the
some
real
amazing
games.
games on
there
the
were,
Wii.
and I loved the Wii. I personally love the Wii.
Yeah, it's
but,
interesting to hear you talk about it like this.
But I mean,
The Wii is garbage, but there were great games on it for sure.
Garbage.
well, okay, yeah, but what were the great games?
Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
I like Zack and Wiki a lot.
Twilight Princess.
Yeah, all games that didn't need.
I can't go down the Twilight Princess road.
We won't. Let's
No,
not.
but
no,
those
there
don't
are-
need the Wiimote.
No, I agree. No, I agree with you. I mean, I think the Wii was an awful system. And trust me, I was a Nintendo apologist for a very long time. We remember this when we first met, where I'd buy all my third-party games even on Wii because I was like, it can't be this bad. But it was. We can't quantify, like, we can't really talk about the sales success of Wii being intrinsically linked to how good the console is, though. You know, that's just not the way it works. Otherwise, you know, a lot of albums that went platinum, 5 times or diamond or whatever, certified, that are just garbage, would mean that those are better than some of these records that go gold or silver. So I don't like, we talked about that this morning on Colin and Greg Live about Batman versus Superman, about everyone judging its merits based on how much money it makes. And I'm like, who cares how much money it makes? People are going to see it anyway. Is it good or is it bad? Nintendo makes unintuitive and shitty decisions, and they have since the N64. I mean, we talk a lot about the things that they did pioneer that did make sense: the D-pad, shoulder buttons, rumble. I mean, these things did stick around, but then you had them making a console that was cartridge based when it was obviously a bad idea. Then you had them make a console with the little mini CDs and mini discs instead of using normal CDs that people, maybe put a DVD player or anything to help push units. Then they made this motion control thing that wasn't very powerful. Then they made this console with a shitty Fisher-Price tablet. Then they made these handhelds with gimmicky 3D on them that were not powerful at all, that can't even run. I just was reading Hyrule Warriors 3DS reviews today about how bad it is and stuff like that. So it's like they have a history long ago of making great decisions and then more recently making shitty decisions. So seeing this controller, if it's real, and we don't know if it's real or not, isn't surprising to me, since they don't make good decisions.
I guess I forgot how much you hate Nintendo. I mean, I disagree with you wholeheartedly. I don't think they've made universally bad decisions. I think the 3DS has shown that was a very great decision. They've sold millions and millions of units of 3DS and hundreds of millions of units of software for that device, and we already talked about it.
I'm down with
Yeah.
the 3DS. He's against that shit.
The vast library.
Regarding the NX controller, I don't think it's real. I don't think it looks real. I don't think it looks like something that they would actually do. I think taking away the iconic D-pad, as you mentioned, is something that would be catastrophic for the gaming experience on a console that's meant to compete with PS4 and Xbox One. So, I mean, you have to remember, even if it is real, it's also just a prototype. So it's possible that they are going to be adding things into it. I remember seeing the very first prototype of the Steam controller and how different the final version of the controller was from the original prototype. Did you guys ever see the original prototype? I mean, I still am not a fan of the Steam controller. So, I mean, maybe Nintendo's trying to take a page from, Valve's book and say, let's do something completely different. Because the Steam controller is completely different than, what you get with the dual stick, controller that we get with the, PlayStation and Xbox.
So for you thinking it's not real, do you think it's just a mock-up somebody took off that patent to have a popular day on the internet?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it happens all the time in tech where, these leaks happen. Oh, it's real. I mean, it's very possible that there are certain things that are real. The patents are real, right? But it doesn't mean that just because they've patented something that they're actually making it. I mean, many tech companies patent things that they never make. Like they never actually put into production. They only have prototypes of.
Yeah. And reading through the NeoGAF thread today, like obviously, like these are the type of perfect conspiracy theory, just like flame bait, where people are just going to jump on it and just kind of come up with a bunch of stuff. And then everyone has their opinion on it. And then that opinion kind of just becomes, just more cannon fodder to the whole thing. And it's interesting to look at like the facts are there was a patent that came out, right? And then the last couple, that was back in, I want to say November. Like it was a while ago. And then over the last couple, like the last month, we've seen this image, like this controller kind of come up in a couple different images in different ways. Like there was the one that we saw that it looked like there was actually gameplay on it. And that was the one that I'm like, ooh, like there's no way this can be real because this looks so bad where the gameplay takes up the whole football shape. And so then your thumbs would be blocking it. It's like, how does that even make sense?
Yeah.
Like for games to be designed that way, it's like, so is it supposed to be this with the TV? But then if it's just portable, how does that work? And again, they'd explain all that stuff over time, but when I saw that image, I'm like, this is definitely someone photoshopped this. This is fake. Then today, when we see these new ones, I'm like, that looks exactly like that. So it's either people that are just making really convincing fake things, or it's real. And so then I got a couple tweets here from Andy McNamara from over at Game Informer. He said, I heard the NX wouldn't have face buttons, so the leaked pictures match what he was told, but unable to confirm. And he's not saying the pictures are real, but saying that the match information he had.
Sure.
So it's like, there's the patent, and then there's also all these like industry people talking about all this shit. And it's like the fact that it all kind of adds up is what worries me the most. And then the biggest thing is the internet doing its sleuthing. And the image that was out today, the trees, man, where for people that don't know, there's this image where you can see the MacBook, and it's the Swedish MacBook, and people looked up all the Swedish developers and found massive games and found a window with a tree outside of it, and the reflection on the controller matches the tree outside. And it's like it's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Like it's a little much. I don't know that I don't know that this is real or not. I err on the side that it probably is. Just being involved even in knowing a lot of things about PS4 specifically before anyone really knew anything about it, and how those pictures started to leak, and you're like, oh shit, like the things you hear are true. Mm-hmm. So I don't discount it. I also want to be clear that I don't hate Nintendo. I just find them funny. Like I think GBA and DS were good decisions that they made, and you wouldn't have found any bigger Nintendo apologist than me during the N64 and GameCube eras. But I'm just not going to apologize for their decisions anymore. They make laughable decisions, and so
they make good games though.
They do make good games sometimes. I mean, they're making fewer good games now than they ever did, and I think that like Star Fox, for instance, looks like it might be running on a
jury's out.
Might be running on GameCube. So to me, it's just that's why it's like an intuitive thing to be like, yeah, of course they're going to do something strange, because why wouldn't they? But they also don't want to compete with PS4 and Xbox One. And maybe they shouldn't. They're like in a space, but they're in the space between, which is an awkward place to be. I mean, Dreamcast was in that place, for instance, and it wasn't a good place. So I don't know. I think that I don't know if it's real or not. McNamara saying, who is very well connected, saying that he's hearing things that are congruent with that controller. Other people saying the same thing, but then other people saying that it's not real. I don't know who to believe or what to believe, but since the patents exist, it would really be quite the long con to make something like this and then tease people with it. It's possible. You would have to really know what you're doing to put something like that together, and I don't think that that's true either. So I don't know. These things are eventually going to leak, just like the Orbis controller leaked and it was real. So I don't know. I'm interested and I'm excited to see it. The big question that someone posed on Twitter, which a lot of people, it was Chris Kohler actually said, and we talked about this on Colin and Greg Live today, is this the whole thing? Mm-hmm. And that was the interesting thing I hadn't thought about, which was is like, since it's supposed to be a hybrid, is this like all that they're going to release? Is this a little thing? And then maybe there's a set top, like a receiver, some sort. I really should call it, for the unit that can be played on TV or whatever. I don't know. Assuming it's real, then we have bigger questions about like what the entire unit is or whatever. But I don't know. It doesn't look fake to me, but who the hell really knows? The rest of the information along with the images on the Reddit post were only the upper nubs of the sticks move. The bottom section is static, similar to the circle pad on the 3DS. So that's great news. Rollers on top resemble the mouse scroll wheel. So I guess on the top there's like...
Yeah, you can see them. They look like shoulder buttons.
Yeah. And then feedback similar to Apple's taptic feedback, which I guess that's cool. And then,
scary, man.
Just a normal headphone jack on the device itself, which, kind of leads to that's good. That's modern bullshit. So
I think it's like simultaneously exciting that they're doing something different, and also all I can think of is I don't want to learn how to play something new.
Right.
It took me so long to
Can I see this real quick?
master dual sticks and the current, controller layout that we have now, that the idea of trying to learn something new just does not sound appealing to me. Maybe I'm just lazy.
No, I think it's real. I think it's fascinating. I'm more interested in the NX the closer we get to it, because when we started talking about it, even when there was the rumor, right, that it was going to be the handheld version is what would hit, and then the next year we'd get the console version or whatever the hell you want to call it. I still think it is this split thing. I think it is maybe not all of it, but that is the thing that you take with you on the road and you pop in your bag and you put out and you play on the plane and then you get home and you beam it to your TV. That's interesting, and I think it sticks with. We always talk about the Nintendo we know, and for each one of us, right? This sticks with the Nintendo I know, and the Nintendo I know is a brilliant toy company. They make toys. They make a couple great games. They do a lot of great game stuff, but they are putting out toys for people, and I don't mean that. That is not me taking a jab at them. I'm saying that they take chances on Waggle, on the pad, on these different things, and they want you to experience their toys in a very specific way, a very interesting way. And I'm interested to see what they do. I still stand by that. Just like with the Wii U and just like with the Wii, they started deviating because they can't compete with Xbox and PlayStation on what they're doing, let alone PC. And this of course, though, falls into the same trap that Colin's always talking about, where my argument becomes that they're this toy manufacturer, they're putting out this toy, they're going to still have awesome Mario, Zelda, Metroid games for it. But then where's the third party? And then the argument becomes, well, Nintendo fans will support it if it has great Nintendo games, but then we look at the Wii U sales and that's not what it is.
Well, the interesting good news is if that sleuthing with the tree is real or not. It's so ridiculous that I can't believe that that's real.
But that's the thing is, the internet is not new. It's not a baby. So it's like people have been through these kind of like leaked things and trying to prove them wrong or right for years at this point. And I've seen it time and time again that if something's fake, it's most likely going to get shut down pretty instantly. People doing like Photoshop, like file things of seeing how many times the image was resaved and like all these weird like metadata stuff to figure it out. And they're like, these images look legit. They look clean, which is
It's like CSI over there.
And that's crazy.
Well, what I was going to say was that assuming it's real and assuming that tree is really outside of Massive, that's a Ubisoft studio. So that answers your question about third-party support. Third parties are clearly making games for it. Like what
for now?
Well,
yeah. So
I think that's jumping the gun. Ubisoft has been like the one standalone third-party partner that has been consistently with Nintendo through all of the iterations of their consoles. Like,
wait till you get your Rabbids.
We haven't seen really any other major publisher sticking by Nintendo, especially through the Wii U era.
Well, Square Enix said they will make things for it too. Dragon Quest, for instance, is going to be on it. But yeah, you're right. We'll see. EA, for instance, doesn't seem like it's going to be super interested in it. They weren't very super interested in my armor. Yeah. They weren't super interested in Wii U. I don't know. I think if someone was like $10 bet, is it real or it's not? I'm like, yeah, that's real. So my problem with it, when we were talking about it again on Colin and Greg, was it's really small. Like if you, and it looks like it could be comfortable to hold. The question I have is, it looks like, this is what I was looking at, and I can't really tell, like, does it have shoulder buttons at all?
Well, it has
the
like
wheel
these,
things.
Wheel things.
Yeah, so
It looks like the size of a Vita, doesn't it?
yeah, but it has, see, the problem with it is that since you are right, the overlay of the analog sticks with the screens, like it would have been more interesting to, like I said, to go to the widest part and then draw perpendicular lines out and make a box. Because I just don't understand like why you wouldn't want to have more screen. If the idea was to make a portable that was contingent on playing on TV, if you want, then you would want it to be bigger. It looks like the Vita would, it looks like it would fit on top of the Vita, but it looks like it's missing some screen or whatever. But it looks like it could be wider too. So I don't know. This is very similar to the argument about PS4 and Xbox One were revealed, and everyone's like, the Xbox One is small. I'm like, the Xbox One looks like huge compared to the PS4, but no one could really tell until people finally got them both and put them on top of each other. So
yeah, I think
until we saw them in person.
The shape of it is the thing that throws me off and just turns me off the most.
The oval?
Yeah, because
Football head.
we're just not used to that, and we're not used to that for a reason. Like movies, TV, there's a widescreen format. 16:9 is a thing, especially with video games. Like there's no advantage to having it be an oval shape. Like I can't even wrap my head around thinking, and again, it's not my job to do that. It is their job. But, I can look at the gamepad and be like, okay, I can imagine things that I'd want to do on this. Or even with the Wiimote and stuff, you can imagine wanting to do archery and like swords and stuff. With this, it's like, well, I would rather a rectangle, and I'd rather not block it.
It's probably more comfortable to hold long term in that shape than a square shape.
Yeah, you figure you're even right. This
you don't
is
have
rounded
right,
on
you don't
that
have the
naturally, like
corners
how
on both sides.
your fingers are rounded.
Yeah, it's rounded, so it'd fit better.
I'm scrolling
Well, I
up
get
here.
that, but
I'm looking at my news. I'm
make it
going
like
to
the
Wii
Vita
weather.
then. Make it like the
We would.
gamepad, where it's like the screen is still rectangle.
I don't get it either. I don't understand I don't understand. I have to keep qualifying, assuming it's real. I don't know. I just don't understand why the entire service also has to be the screen. Like I don't quite understand that design.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I guess it's cool, but like I see. I want to have, and I did have an open mind about NX because I assumed that, and I still do, I guess, because we don't know what it is, that it could be something kind of revolutionary in the sense that maybe they really do understand the console handheld hybrid. And handhelds, I think, really are more at their heritage of what they do right now than their console stuff. But like, I fear not having real buttons on it. Like, I think that I don't know. This seems to be like the half step towards a phone. It's not a phone, but like in terms, like I don't want to play games on a phone. I don't like touchscreen games typically, and I just. How is it all going to work? It seems like it's going to be cluttered. I guess is what I'm saying. Like where, I don't know. Like I just don't get it.
I mean, that's the other thing. Like, imagine where would a button be on that? Where's a jump?
Well, imagine if a Nintendo takes their new mobile division and puts the majority, if not all of their resources into only making mobile games, because that's where the money's at. I mean, look at, some of the other Japanese companies are doing the same thing. Konami is kind of getting out of like the AAA, space in favor of mobile stuff. So I think that that's something to consider. Like maybe this is intended to be like a mobile device, that they're not going to be doing these AAA console games anymore, that they're going to really focus on this, generation that takes their phones with them everywhere.
But why make a device then?
Yeah.
That's the biggest question to me is like, swallow your pride and just use the phones that use iPhone and Android.
Existing platforms.
They need to I'm not even saying Xbox One and PS4, which would be awesome, but if you're going to make phone games, which they already are with DNA, then why make a platform? This is the biggest thing. I just feel like they are struggling for ideas, man. Like I like, if this hardware is real, again, I just feel like just get out, like I don't know. I feel like they're genetically they make games. They've never really made great hardware. Like the hardware ran great games, and so we loved it. Like the NES is still my favorite console of all time because of the library. But it was a weak console compared to its competition, and it stuck around for a really long time.
Kevin,
I just wonder why they don't.
Can you grab me the Wii U gamepad?
I just wonder why they don't just swallow their pride and make shit tons of money putting games on other platforms exclusively. Like, what's the big deal?
Because you can see it. You can see the E3 press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, the NX isn't your next console. It's the next experience. Lights off, X's all over the place.
X's all over the place.
So here's the deal. Looking at this, if I was to take this
there is a gamepad in that
theoretical controller and I was to rotate it over and put it there, it looks like the screen is about the width, or length, I guess, right? The length here of the side of the controller. Maybe a little bit bigger, right? If I was to swing it over that, and then you figure, so what you're dealing with then is two sticks on the sides here, like that. And that's about how big it would be. Now, theoretically, that way, that screen's not that, like, no. So stick with me here, because what I'm thinking about, like, what about a traditional game, right? What you would then, I would think, looking at these, be easy enough to draw lines down, black out the sides of it, and you'd have the widescreen game. Not everything maybe looks like this, where it's taking up the whole screen. So suddenly you have a screen that wide, sticks over here, and then maybe a button on this, like, offset, kind of like this, right? So that's the stick, and then there's a button here. So I'm up here and I can go down there to hit whatever I'm playing with. Again, it's touchscreen gaming, but that's where you put your virtual buttons. That's how you play a game that's more traditional and the view you want of it. But even that screen, less than the plus, and you have a plus 2.
I don't know, man. What I'm curious about is like
that screen would be about as it would be that screen size, even with the sticks on the side of it. It's about as wide as the iPhone 6.
It's small. I don't know. I'm more curious to see like what the Nintendo faithful really think about this, and I haven't actually looked too much into it yet. Like I've been reading the NeoGAF thread.
I mean,
everyone seems super down on it.
Yeah, I mean, even the hardcore people that I've seen, they all are like, "What the fuck is this?" And I mean, that's me. Like, I don't want this. Like, I can't even.
Maybe we do want it.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is like I don't know. Like
remember when we didn't want PlayStation Move?
Yes, I do remember.
This is just.
It's like let's see how powerful it is. Let's see what the games that it can be played. Let's see how the controls work. We'll find out soon. I mean, this isn't going to force their hand. They have their plan. They're going to stick to it, and it's probably going to be E3.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's
Nintendo Nintendoing. This is what they do, guys. Stop trying to believe in your 8-bit Nintendo, your 16-bit Nintendo. They are gone.
No, but so here's my thing though. I still love the Wii U games. Like Wii U games
You're still gonna get those games.
But that's the thing is I don't know if I am with this.
You're buying that thing. You're going to get those games.
I'm not saying I'm not going to buy
Well,
it.
they came forward and said that they're not ending production of the Wii U, as was rumored earlier this week. And they're like, no, that's false. Why would we do that? So you're still going to get Wii U games. I mean,
he means Wii U caliber games on the
like
NX.
the Nintendo first party
you mean
games.
like the next generation of
Smash.
whatever the Wii
I also
is.
don't believe them. Like that's the other thing. Considering the
You
source.
think they would blatantly lie about
Well,
it?
Kotaku made a good point that Nikkei like always gets their Nintendo rumors right. Like, why would this be any different? They have to say something because otherwise people are going to be like, well, you're just
Why would I buy
it's
this
over
thing?
now. Like already, like why would I even invest any money in buying this? Why would I buy any of the games? Like they have to say something. To them, I don't know. Like the source seemed compelling. If that came from some random forum in Japan or whatever, I'd be like, okay. But like Nikkei like leaks all sorts of shit about Nintendo and it's right. So like this seems to be a weird one that they got wrong. I don't think they're outright lying. I think like maybe
You're lying.
maybe they're still saying, well, we're still going to produce it for a little while, and but I bet
like
you
the
they still.
timing is different. Well, I mean, we all know it's going to end eventually, but
3 years
Yeah.
seems to be pretty a little over 3 years, I guess, is like
quick.
quick.
That's
So
all it's been since the Wii U's been out?
it's 2012, right? Fall
Jesus
2012.
Christ.
So yeah, fall 2012. That's when it
Okay.
came out. So it was before PS4 and Xbox One were even announced. I just think that they have to get that thing out of the way, and they probably are sitting on a lot of stock too. I mean, the thing hasn't been selling very well, so it's not like stupid business wise for them on the back end to say like just stop. But I don't think they can like let the consumer know. Otherwise, like there's still big games coming out, so it would be disastrous for them, I think, to say that. But I think that they know that they're kind of left with a lagging piece of hardware, and they have to do something with it. What I'm more curious about with this is like, again, is this like the first image is plugged into something? It's probably plugged into a dev kit. And there's a black box that's like overlaid over something, right? Like we can all agree on that. Like someone's
this is an older image.
No, that I know. I mean, that's an image I saw a while ago.
That is an overlay.
So I don't know. I this kind of shit annoys me. Like whenever I see leaks like this, because then it just develops like a million questions about it that I don't have answers to because I don't have any connections.
There's always
like
when I
that
wish I could
with
time
Nintendo.
travel. Just jump ahead, see what's up,
Yeah.
come back, do Let's Plays for all these games, have them banked.
Well,
We'll see. I'm sorry that people expect me to be pessimistic about it, but I'm sorry to hear that a lot of the Nintendo fans are pessimistic about it. I thought that they would be
I mean,
a little more optimistic.
No,
about it.
because
I'm
you understand
very
they've all
pessimistic
tricked
about
themselves,
this.
Colin. This was the return to a real controller and a box more powerful than the PlayStation 4, and all the real games would be ported to it, and it would be the one device to rule them all.
I don't even need all of
And
that.
now you're
Just give
all
me one
waking
of
up
those
to what
bullet points.
Nintendo is.
I think it's smart of them not to try to do that. I think
I
to
agree.
try to compete against PS4 and Xbox One now is just, it's suicide. Like, you're never going to catch up.
I agree that this is the chance where you roll the dice. You're like, all right, we're this is what this thing's going to be. We see the rise in mobile gaming. We're going to embrace that. It goes everywhere. One game is always with you. It's not like, when Vita would play the Madden game, you're like, oh, this is terrible. And, why can't I, even the show, taking your saves back and forth. This is the device. And if it doesn't work out, we will finally give up and make everything for third-party,
I feel like the Wii U was that chance for them. And,
The Wii U, I think, was a inflated self of sense based on Wii. It was the Wii was the most successful thing of all time. Clearly, we can do. That's what people want. Or that's what our audience wants. And they forgot that their audience was my mom, who bought it and has it as like a cool party thing when she has a barbecue. People end up bowling or doing something on there, but they're not. There's not an attach rate to that. There isn't my mom being motivated to buy a Wii U. They got tricked, I think, with causation and correlation there on what was going to happen this next time around.
For sure.